Is it going to surprise anyone to know that Donald Trump's lawyers just looked a New York state court judge presiding over Donald Trump's criminal sentencing in the eye and lied to him about a major constitutional and statutory provision of federal law to try to avoid the sentencing? I'm Michael Popok. You're on Legal AF and the MeidasTouch Network. Let me break it down for you. Emile Beauvais, a lawyer for Donald Trump, criminal defense lawyer in the Stormy Daniels hush money cover-up case. That's the one where Donald Trump got 34 felony convictions, 12-0 from a jury in New York. The sentencing was delayed and was scheduled for the 26th of November. And then Tuesday happened. And as we expected, the lawyers for Donald Trump were going to try to throw a monkey wrench and avoid the sentencing. But in the letter that they just wrote to the judge, the email that we just got a copy of, that apparently went to the judge Sunday night, but we didn't know about it until Tuesday morning when it hit the public docket. They've said that the Presidential Transition Act of 1963 is the reason that the judge should not sentence Donald Trump for the 34 felony convictions and should dismiss the case. The Presidential Transition Act of 1963, along with the immunity decision by the U.S. Supreme Court. So let me focus on the Presidential Immunity Act of 1963 for a minute. First of all, that was put in place after the Kennedy assassination because it was a little bumpy in the transition from Kennedy, who was assassinated, to Lyndon Johnson, the vice president, and Congress freaked out and said, we can't ever let that happen again. So they made sure there was a process in place for briefing, for procedure, for protocol, for protection, for funding, for offices to allow for the smooth transition. This is, of course, applies also when there's a free and fair election, right? Kamala Harris signed all the memorandum of understanding with the required by law by the presidential transition team, with the General Services Administration and others. And you know who hasn't done that and who's been completely out of compliance and violated the law up till the moment of this recording of this hot take on Tuesday? Trump. None of his team has signed the transition chiefs, which would be Howard Lutnick and Linda McMahon of World Wrestling fame. They had to sign 2 contracts, 2 memorandum of understandings required by Congress in order to allow for transition and funding and the rest. But they don't want to do that. Or as Tulsi Gabbard, who's one of his transition chiefs, has said out loud, we don't want them to have a mold to know exactly what we're going to do and let the Biden administration try to screw it up in transition. That's Tulsi Gabbard. So they refuse to do it. But they declined the $8 or $9 million in funds necessary for the transition. They said, we got it. We'll pay it ourselves. I'm sure Elon Musk is paying it. They didn't properly sign the ethics code. And of course, they have no cybersecurity protection around their transition team. That's why they keep getting hacked. They keep getting hacked because they're not taking federal protection and cybersecurity. And we know the Iranians, the Chinese, and the Russians have already hacked them. And so to stand in front of the judge and say the Presidential Transition Act of 1963 that they are not participating in, that they have willfully violated, and that they have decided that it is better for them to do everything in secret. I mean, this is going to be, unless we continue to do this through transparency and keeping them accountable, they're going to try to do everything in the dark. Everything in the dark. The public is not at the table with this administration. They're going to try to use a fake, phony recess of the Senate to slam in all of their cabinet picks as acting members for 2 years without Senate confirmation or public hearing. They're going to try to do it with laws, with executive laws. And now they're going to try to do it here, keeping even the transition counterparts in the federal government in the dark, in violation of the Presidential Transition Act of 1963, which Emile Beauvais, on the other hand, the other side of his mouth, is telling Judge Merchan is the reason that he can't sentence their client. Well, how can you, Emile, how can the campaign and your transition team, who will eventually, some of these people, be your boss, like Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, when you come into the White House as White House counsel, how can they not participate and be willfully out of compliance with the law, violate the law, and then you tell a state court judge that it's that law that your client is not in compliance with on purpose that is the basis for delaying the sentencing? This is what we've watched the whole time. That's why we formed Legal AF, so we could call it out in real time as we see it. If I'm Judge Merchan, more importantly, if I'm the Manhattan DA, Having seen that, with this kind of reporting that I'm doing, I would go find all the articles that show that Donald Trump's team has been out of compliance with the Presidential Transition Act since of 1963 for the last 60 days, right up until the 11th or 12th of November. That they've refused federal funds for transition. That they have refused to meet with the General Services Administration. The only meeting that he's going to do is this walkthrough with Joe Biden sometime this week. Even Melania turned down a transition tea with Jill Biden because she doesn't like the fact that Mar-a-Lago was raided and blames Jill Biden for it. Jill, not Joe. So they're completely out of compliance. And as a result, America is worse off and insecure because they don't have any of the cybersecurity protection, any of the increased Secret Service protection that would come with entering into these memorandums of understandings. They're still, quote unquote, negotiating. But the truth was let out by Tulsi Gabbard, who's going to be in the administration in some capacity. That former Democrat, now Republican MAGA, who said, no, we're not going to let them in. You know, they want to mold. They want to know what we're going to do in transition. We're not going to tell them because they think the Democrats act like Republicans. Let's do some brainstorming. What's something that works so well that it's basically magic? Like air conditioning, noise-canceling headphones, meetings-free Fridays. What about selling with Shopify? Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business, from the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're delivering daily news digest and hot takes on law and politics or serving up sensational scoops, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, up to 36% better compared to other leading commerce platforms, and sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify makes it easy for you to show up exactly the way you want to. Customize your online store to your style with gorgeous flexible templates and powerful tools. Once you start selling, Shopify makes getting paid simple by instantly accepting every type of payment. And Shopify grows with your business no matter how far or big you grow, thanks to an endless list of integrations and third-party apps. Anything you can think of, from on-demand printing to accounting to chatbots, everything you need to revolutionize your business. What I love about Shopify is how it turbocharges your dreams to make them a reality so that no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., and Shopify's the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's extensive help resources are there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/legalaf, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/legalaf in lowercase now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. That's shopify.com/legalaf. My point of this hot take is it's beyond speaking with a forked tongue. This is lying to a New York State judge, and I hope that the Manhattan DA's office is going to bring Emile Beauvais and Donald Trump's lawyers to task for doing it. I would like, from an American patriot standpoint, for Donald Trump's transition team and its transition heads, Lutnick and McMahon, to get their act together and sign the memorandums of understanding to not compromise national security and to make sure that America is protected. But they don't want to do that because they are all conspiracy theorists. And they're like, well, we would screw them, so they must be trying to screw us. And the American people suffer as a result. And it's outlandish and unethical for Emile Beauvais to write an email to the judge citing a set of laws that his own client is willfully not compliant with and is breaking the law. Donald Trump's breaking the law on the way in, having already been convicted of breaking the law and prosecuted for breaking the law. This is what a majority of America, apparently, or at least the ones that went to the polls, voted for. That may be, but we're still here. And we're going to call it out on a regular basis here on the MeidasTouch Network and Legal AF. Listen, now more than ever, can I tell you how important it is to subscribe to the channels that we've created to protect democracy and continue to hold them accountable? Legal AF, 30,000, more than 30,000 people joined us since Tuesday. And that is an honor. And that is a responsibility that I take seriously as the person that runs that channel. And here on the MeidasTouch Network, hit the subscribe buttons. It is imperative. We didn't build these channels and these networks in order just to be here during fair weather times. We're here for stormy times and to navigate through it and to help us regain power on the other side and check the out-of-control instincts and illegal instincts of Donald Trump by calling it out on an hourly and weekly and monthly and yearly basis. So listen, until my next hot take, until my next Legal AF, the podcast, or Legal AF, the YouTube channel, I'm Michael Popok, and I am reporting. In collaboration with the MeidasTouch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.